Good morning, it's Richard Jean, the fishing machine here. Today we're going to be doing some crappie fishing. Now currently the surface temperature is at 69 degrees, 69 on top. The air temperature is around 55. I think the high today is going to be around 75, so I may have to get rid of these long handles today. But anyway, today we're going to be doing crappie fishing 101. And by that I mean little bitty tackle. Okay, I'm talking about finesse tackle, little micro jigs. Excuse me, that was that Coca-Cola. Light line, 2-pound test. I'm going to be fishing. First I'm going to fish a bridge that's right here in front of me. Then I'm going to fish docks. Yeah, with 2-pound test line. I'm going to drag some crappie out from under those docks with 2-pound test line. And I'm going to show you, first of all, the tackle I'm going to use. The cheapest old rod back in its day, 22 years ago, that you could buy. And it's a Shakespeare Supreme 2-piece rod. It's 6 foot long, I believe. 6 feet long, action lag. Made in China. And that was a long time ago. Limber, just right to do what I'm going to do today. Nothing fancy about it. My reel is a Daiwa Reverus. It's a 1000 size reel, loaded with 2-pound test line. And here's one of the baits. I may not start off with that one to count of the. I don't know what I'll do that I'm going to use. That's a brush pile jig right there. It's 1 inch long. Little bitty jig head. I mean 1/28 of an ounce with a size 8 hook. And I'm going to show you a few of my finesse baits or micro jigs before we get started right here. We're going to have fun today. Woo. I want to thank y'all for putting up with me and being out here with me today. Putting up with this old guy right here. But here's some of my little bitty jigs. Most of these are around 1 inch long. 1 inch long. These right here are brush pile jigs. They sent me these probably 2 or 3 years ago and I haven't used them yet. Little bitty things I'm talking about. And these was sent by one of y'all about 3 years ago. Little bitty. It's kind of shaped like a Bobby Garland, but it's about 1 inch long. Just little micro jigs. And I have a lot of jigs. Here's one right here that's a real good one. I've used these for years. I don't think I have on this channel. That's just a little curly tail, 1 inch grub. North Head Tackle makes this one. It's a 1 inch chartreuse. Trout tubes. That's a tube jig. Excellent for a finesse presentation. I used a big word. It's not really important for me to use big words on this channel. We're fishing little bitty stuff today. Let me put it that way. And you got these right here. And I have another tackle box loaded down with these little, and I don't know the names of most of these right here. Most of them are what we call generic, which I don't like the word generic. It doesn't matter. When name brand stuff does not matter when it comes to crappie fishing. And I'm not out to prove that. I'm just, it's about the retrieval speed. Fishing above the crappie. And color does make a difference a lot of times unless they're extremely active. Which today I don't believe they're going to be real active, folks. The wind's coming out of the east. And I try to stay positive all the time. But the fact is, and there's no doubt, an east wind causes some problems out here on the water. I've encountered it a lot. But that's fishing. But we're going to start right here on this bridge, and I see, of course, we got to figure out how deep the crappie are and see what size they are. Then I'm going to go to docks, and we're going to catch a few under docks. So thank y'all very much for staying with me a few minutes. God bless y'all. Let's do her. Woo! I'm talking about woo! Now I'm going to tell you what, folks. These fish are incredibly shallow, and I'm going to tell you why. Now they're over 11 feet of water right here. But they're anywhere from 1 foot to, I'm going to have to get my pliers to get him loose. Anywhere from 1 foot to 3 feet deep. Now, the reason why is because this water is turning over. I mean, they're real shallow. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, let's look at the situation right here. On top, it's 69 degrees right now. 69.9. It's fluctuating between that and 70. We're in 12 feet of water. Okay, I'm going to make a cast. Well, I'm going to try to. This is very important. Right here, let me get this spider web off. Daggone it. I'm going to make a cast. Now, I'm going to count down 1, 2, and then I'm going to start reeling. Now, watch this. And there he is. See, they're about anywhere from 1 foot to 2 feet. Come on in here. From the top of the water. Now, that's a black crappie. Let's let him go. Let's do that again real quick. There we go. My goodness, that's a good fish right here, folks. I don't think I'm going to leave right now. Let me loosen this drag right here. This is a good crappie. I mean a good one. I may have been wrong about these crappie. That I said that there's just a bunch of little ones in here. Well, I'm wrong. Look at there, what a fish. That's a big fish right there. He'd been caught before or something. That little old micro jig. Now I'm using one right here that kind of looks like a Bobby Garland. Let me let this one go. Going back. Kind of looks like a Bobby Garland, but it's a lot smaller. It's 1 inch long. And I don't know who makes this. This was sent to me by one of y'all about 2 years ago. Several of these. And that fish just demolished that little jig. I mean, he thumped it. Look at him in there. Whoa. The beautiful birds. The birds. Alright, let's get up here on this dock right here, folks. Let me show you what I'm going to start off with right here. This is just a little 1 inch micro jig. Right here. Like I said, 1/28 of an ounce jig head. But I have it tied with a Palomar knot. Because of this 2-pound test line, I want to get the maximum strength out of this 2-pound line, of course. And by the way, this dock right here is 10 feet deep. And the fish seem to be anywhere from 3 to 4 feet deep. Right, see, there's one right there. He hit it on the fall. About 3 or 4 feet deep on this particular dock. Yep, black crappie. They're just eating it up just like they would if I was throwing a Bobby Garland jig. It does not matter. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell y'all a story real quick. Right here. Alright, there's the depth. There's a crappie. Back in the day, raising my kids, I didn't have a lot of money here, so, which I don't now. I mean, I'm talking about I was in debt. That's a pretty good fish right there. I don't know how he's come on in here. That's getting to be a lot better. But let me tell y'all a story right here. Back in the day, when I had 2 young ones at home, raising them, me and my wife worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. Y'all know how it is. Matter of fact, I had 2 jobs. Let's let him go right here, trying to make ends meet. And I was bass fishing. I always brought my crappie stuff with me. I found a dock like this one, but it was loaded up with big crappie. And I had 2 jigs with me. So when I bought something, I had to really utilize it. I had to use it. Couldn't afford just to buy hundreds of dollars worth of stuff, and still can't. But I had some trick worms in the boat, so I took me some scissors after I run out of jigs. Wanted those crappie to take home to clean to eat, you know, for food. And I took me a pair of scissors and I whittled out, or cut me out, some crappie baits out of a Zoom trick worm, a white one. I put those on the jig head and I caught just as many and just as easy. I caught a load of crappie just by doing that, fashioning my own bait out of plastic. So that's the point. One of the points I want to get at, name brand stuff is more of a marketing type thing. And there's a lot of, I hope there's no companies watching. They're going to just grimace about that. But I'm telling the truth about the sport of fishing. Now, it's not that difficult to catch fish on any jig, say from, let's let him go, 2 inches and smaller. If you don't have any, if you have a bunch of trick worms or anything like that that's white or gray or any color like that, get you some scissors and cut your own baits out and catch just as many crappie. What's important is finding how deep the crappie are and fishing above them slightly, and that's all they are to crappie fishing. And fishing slow. Ooh, that was a bluegill. I guarantee you, I could tell, hey, hit. And fishing slow, patient. I mean, and don't try not to spook your fish. And you won't if you fish slow. There's one. But I just want to tell y'all that story right there. I'm stuttering a little bit because I was focusing on my fishing too much. But there's a lot of folks that's watching right now that's done probably the same thing. And they know the facts. Here we go. Now, I'm not knocking these companies that makes crappie jigs, but there's no way in the world, and I'm going to tell somebody that one jig is better than the next. When you can take some scissors and cut you out a bait that's in the shape of a jig and catch just as many and just as easy, why would I do that? I won't want to get back over there. There we go. That's a good crappie right here, folks. On that tiny jig. Look here. That's a white crappie, I believe. That's the first one I've caught today. Yeah, look at there, what a white crappie. And I'm throwing a different color. And I have, let's see, those colors there I'm going to mess with. And also going to try to curly tail jig probably. Let's get him right here. Quit. There we go. That's a nice one right there. White crappie. He got it deep too. Can y'all see? Hey, he eat that bait. The color's not making any difference today. Normally it don't. Just sometimes I pay attention to colors. mainly when we have a lot of rain, a lot of influx, where it changes the natural color of whatever lake I'm fishing. Then I'll pay attention to gold, the pinks and stuff like that. But I could actually throw them colors right now and catch crappie. That doggone thing won't quit hollering, folks. Listen to him. He just constant hollers. I don't know if he's mad at me or not. There's no way he can be mad at me because it's not nesting time, it's fall. But he's hollering and screaming and kind of looking at me with that one eye on the side there. And I'm slow to anger, but he's making me mad. Just a little bit, but listen to him. Okay. Let's catch another one. Whoa. Doggone. I am talking about. Whoa! Well, there's one right there. Come on out there. As soon as it hit the water, that fish was on it. Come on back here. That's a pretty good fish. Now y'all look at the size of that jig right here. Whoops. Yeah, I'm gonna go up under the dock. But y'all look at the size of that jig right there. It's about the size of his eye, maybe a little bit bigger. But that ain't a bad lick at all, is it? Let's let him go right there. Well, folks, I'm gonna shag. That is enough fun for anybody. It's been a beautiful day out here, and once again I want to thank y'all for spending the day with me. As far as numbers of crappie, that may have been the most crappie I've ever caught in my life. It was just one after another after another. A big movement of fish has moved up on these docks. And the reason is because there's a lot of shad under them, a lot of small shad. Anywhere from an inch to an inch and a quarter long. That's perfect for crappie. Some of them's around an inch and a half, I guess. That's just the perfect size for crappie. Finesse fishing with these little bitty baits right here will keep you catching fish. I mean, and it's something you can do year long. In fact, I have some videos that I done a couple years ago in the springtime where I used these little bitty 1-inch baits and caught some big slabs. It doesn't matter with crappie. Oftentimes they feed on small stuff like that. So I just want to say thank y'all. God bless each and every one of y'all. Hey. Doggone it.
And remember, go fishing when you can, but don't